it easy to start the cooperation between the private sector and the public sector?
Oh, it's definitely not easy, but I do think it is necessary. If you think that you can solve the cybersecurity issue just from the public sector or just from the private sector, that will never happen. So the collaboration between the two is really necessary.
Does the collaboration work all the time, or is it quite hard? Are they just the beginnings of the collaboration? How does it look like?
Well, what I can tell you about is the Dutch experience we have. And in 2011, we started to work together in what is called the Cybersecurity Council. And there, government, the public sector in general, companies and their trade organizations and scientists came together and formed this new council to discuss cybersecurity issues. And coming together and having an open dialogue was a very good step. But it's just a step in a very complicated process.
So does it work now at the moment?
Oh, yes, it works. People have found each other and there is open communication. But you have to be very honest about it because people are still in traditional roles. Government wants to make sure that cybersecurity is there, and therefore they are willing to enforce new laws and regulations, but they are not willing to pay the highest price for that. Businesses want to do business, so new regulations sometimes are costly or difficult, and they want to stay out of new regulations and new laws. And scientists love to research the topic of cybersecurity, so they want more and more research. And of course I'm kidding a little bit, but basically when you were sitting in the Cybersecurity Council meetings, you could notice if somebody came from a public sector background, a private sector background, or from science. That's not a problem. The problem arises when you have different interests. So if there is an actual problem that has to be solved, then you see that it's sometimes difficult to stay connected. But there was a very good example in the beginning of the Cybersecurity Council, which was the DigiNotar incident in the Netherlands. DigiNotar was a company that issued certificates, but they had been hacked and they kept that secret for some time, which was not very smart. But in the end, when it was in the open, the Cybersecurity Council discussed this and we had all kinds of opinions coming together, how we should learn from such an incident and what we should try to do to make sure that something like that never would happen again. So yes, there are different interests, but if there is an incident, you have the possibility to connect immediately and to make very educated decisions.
How to make the cyberspace more safe, especially in the business, in the private sector?
The first thing still, even after years of talking about cybersecurity, and that's my personal opinion, is that we have to create more awareness. We should have meetings like these where we openly address the necessity to have cybersecure environments. You need to work together in public-private partnerships to solve issues that normally will be very difficult. And creating awareness is one of the things that you should try to do together. So what we did in the Netherlands was we went, members of the Cybersecurity Council went to the boardroom of large organizations and personally explained why cybersecurity was important. And sometimes they said, oh yeah, we have an IT manager and he or she is taking care of it. And then we said, no, it should be about you, the CEO of a company. You should be taking care of cybersecurity. And we came with examples like DigiNotar, what can go wrong? Because in the end, DigiNotar went broke. The company doesn't exist anymore. They lost all their money. And awareness is good for the current generation of people that are managing companies or are responsible within government. But education with the young people, that is the thing where we should start. Once again, my personal opinion, but I think we really have to do that.
So can we say that the weakest link of the cybersecurity are the people?
Oh, absolutely. And of course, it's the same people that try to abuse it. So if we talk about hacking community or criminals or even state actors, it's always the human element that takes the decision to do something, either illegal or criminal, within the what we call the internet or the digital connected world. But also from the other side, if you have to protect it and you are not educated, you don't understand how it actually works, then the human error, the human fault is mostly the reason for all the problems.